When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers!
Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Requires new line. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 480p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Haunted Nights, live with Tamara Thorne and Alistair Cross.
First off, thank you, W.J. Pierce, for creating and performing our music. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Thorne and Cross Haunted Nights Live. We're your hosts, Alistair Cross, and I'm here with my co-host and collaborator, the Diva of Darkness herself, Tamara Thorne. Thank you for joining us. Before we introduce our guests tonight, I'm going to turn it over to Tamara, who's going to tell you a little bit about what we're working on now on the Thorne and Cross front. Take it away, Tamara.
Yes, Thank you. I'm going to talk about Ravencrest, our ongoing The Ravencrest Saga. We're working on book 3, and it comes out as a serial novel first. So let me tell you about that. In a remote part of California, Ravencrest Manor, imported stone by stone from England more than 2 centuries ago, looms tall and terrifying, gathering its dark and unnatural powers and drawing those at once as its own. In Exorcism, the book 3 of the Ravencrest Saga, something evil is stirring in the deep, dark waters of the estate's indoor pool as ghostly jazz-age parties fill the air with phantom music. Within the mansion, a maid is visited nightly by a demon lover, and Governess Belinda Moreland is haunted by the tormented spirit of Violet LeBlanc, a silent movie star who was driven mad in her prime and wants Belinda to help her in search for help her in her search for justice. The Ravencrest Saga series is released in serialized installments, as I said, and the first one, Begotten, is available now on Amazon. The second will follow very, very soon.
Yes, we're currently in the middle of, we're just about toward the end of that one, so it'll probably be a matter of weeks before the second one comes out. Mm-hmm. And if you need to brush up, you can get the first 2 complete novels, The Ghosts of Ravencrest and The Witches of Ravencrest, in paperback or ebook at Amazon. The Ravencrest Saga has witches, ghosts, mystery, history, and lots of family secrets, so if Gothic is your thing, check it out. Also, you're listening to Thorne and Cross Haunted Nights Live, and again, we're your hosts, Alistair Cross and Tamara Thorne. You can learn more about what we do at our websites, alistaircross.com and tamarathorne.com, or you can visit our mutual blog at thorneandcross.wordpress.com. If you tweet, our handles are at CrossAlistair and at Tamara Thorne. You can also visit our Haunted Nights Live page on Facebook. For more information on the show, you can visit Authors on the Air on Facebook, Twitter, and at authorsontheair.com. If you're listening online, please click the follow button. This is a broadcast of the Authors on the Air Global Radio Network, LLC. All right, with all that out of the way, tonight we have 2 very special guests, authors and hosts of the Panic Room radio show, James Longmore and Xtina Marie. James hails originally from Yorkshire, England, having relocated with his family to Houston, Texas in 2010. He has an honors degree in zoology and a background in sales, marketing, and business. His writing style and storytelling have already been compared to James Herbert, Richard Lehman, Stephen King, Dan Brown, and Robert Ludlum. Some good company to be in. An affiliate member of the Horror Writers Association and founder of Hellbound Books Publishing, LLC, James has to date 5 novels published, plus his definitive short story collection, all in addition to 3 novellas and a whole bunch of short stories dotted about in myriad anthologies. you can learn more about James at jameslongmore.com. That's JAMESLONGMORE.com. All right. Xtina Marie, who's also with us, is a poet, podcaster, writer, editing service provider, mom, and bibliophile whose poetry and short stories have been published in 15 books. Her first book, Dark Musings, was nominated for Bram Stoker Award, and her next offering, Dark as Sunlight, should be out in the fall of 2018. To find out more about her, you can visit her at darkpoetprincess.com, DARKPOETPRINCESS.com. It's kind of fun to spell all that out. Anyway, that said, welcome to the show, James and Xtina. How are you guys?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys?
We're good. You know,
we are.
We're fine.
Good.
Yeah, we are.
This is so exciting. We were just saying it's a night. It's a treat. It's a treat for us to be guests and not hosts. You know, I mean, obviously, we treat to be on your show as well.
We know what you mean.
We have to panic about time or pressing the buttons or you know, is the music bit going to work? And cause I you know, we with Blog Talk as well, and it can be a little bit temperamental. So.
Yes, we were having those issues before we started the show, so if anything happens, sorry, I don't know what's going on.
That's all right.
You guys, we've been on your show, which was a lot of fun, and I don't remember if we talked about it or not, but for our listeners, I'm curious about how did you guys meet? How did this radio show thing that you do together happen?
James.
Well, I was waiting for you, actually, Xtina.
Okay, he was actually a guest on the Panic Room radio show started, I don't know, what was it, like 2 years ago? And he was a guest. I was with this other woman named Lisa, and we did a couple of shows. And, yeah, James came on as a guest, and I fell in love right away with his voice. I did. I was like, I was swooning. I really was. And he was a great guest. He was amazing. And you know, the producer, whatever of the show, said, asked him if he wanted to kind of like be the third. And we did that for a couple of weeks, and it was kind of like too many people, and it just wasn't really working really good. And so me and James were, you know, we wanted to sit down and maybe make some kind of, you know, I don't know, kind of like not really planned, but a format a little bit, you know. And the other girl kind of just, she didn't want to, so she kind of bowed out, and it just left us two, and now we're close to 100 episodes in, and it was the best thing for the show because it's so awesome now. I am so glad that those first shows aren't, you know, nobody can find them anymore.
No, I wish we still had them. It would be great to play some of those, play snippets. Because they really were. They were great. I mean, you guys have heard the phrase, you know, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And obviously with, you know, radio, you know, radio online, as I guess it is, you know, being accessible to anybody who, you know, you don't have to have some packages you don't have to pay. And we're not that cheap on our show, I have to say. We're not that cheap. So anybody can do, and there's a whole host of people who are doing, and to be fair, I mean, you know, we again, you know, bullshit aside, you know, we do hold your show as one to watch, you know, as with high regard, but there's so many others that are just, well, not just trying to be nice, you know, just. I don't know. I think it's something, you know, that not everyone can do. I mean, luckily, you know, I know at Xtina, I mean, we literally clicked straight away on the air, and it, you know, we have sort of an instant unique chemistry. It just works. I don't know why. I don't know why she puts up with me, to be honest with you, but it works, and people love the show, and it's fun, and you know, we for me, it's a bit of a muckabout for me, really.
Right.
It's an hour and a half muckabout, you know, which is great.
I want to get an introduction, like their introduction. They have that really cool voice introducing them, and we need one of those. I want one of those, James. Really,
we do. You don't have one, do you? No, you do.
No,
you do. You have the dueling banjos. That's your intro music.
No. I know. He does that to me, like almost. Well, a couple times, a month, he will definitely pull that one, and I just facepalm. I'm like, no, he didn't just do that.
I love it.
We really lucked out.
So much fun. It's you guys have a lot of fun on it, and we did. We got we know the guy who did the music in the intro, and
when he's not operating on brains, when he's not operating on brains, he's a rocker.
Nice.
Mostly he operates on brains.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, he's a man for all reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I must admit we don't. I mean, the voices, some of the obviously the intro voices and that. I was like actually a guy I used to do stand-up comedy with. I was on the circuit with him in Houston, and he's great at voices, and he recorded a bunch of voices for us. So they're all jolly. He's a great guy. I think he lives in LA now, but
so James had given me a list of things he wanted me to record, and I did, and I sent them back, and he's like, okay, I want you to do it again, but try to do it a little sexier, and I'm like, I can't. That wasn't a sexy voice.
That was just they were just rubbish, to be honest. They were just terrible. So we didn't. They were. Actually, there's another lady I work with on some short films, and she does voiceover, and she came and she did some of the sexy voiceovers as well.
I just couldn't do it. Yeah, I guess.
No, you were just rubbish. You really were. I'm sorry. It was awful.
I was waiting for you guys. I was waiting for you guys to mispronounce James' name. Like he mispronounced your name when you came on.
Tamara. I know. Tamara.
We actually.
Hold on. There you go. You can record that. You can use that. Tamara.
Oh my God! I hate that song.
Tamara.
I hate that movie. That play.
It's terrible, isn't it? Isn't it awful? I must admit,
we
almost introduced you as Hamez Lawnmower. We were talking about it. We're like, how do you
we didn't have a sound for Longmore.
Yeah. How do you twist names? I mean, that's a hard one. So, Hamez.
I like that. I could go with that. I used to get
Yeah.
called lawnmower a lot when I was a kid.
I'll bet.
Makes sense.
It doesn't. Yeah. I've had that many permutations of mine. It just doesn't bother me now.
Now you said that you used to do stand-up comedy. Is that right?
Yeah, I did. I did it over in England for a while, and then sort of carried it on when we moved over here. About nearly 8 years ago now. It was a good outlet for my sort of creative demons. But I haven't written comedy for a while actually. But I mean, anybody's read any of my stuff, will. It's a common theme is that there's that thread of dark comedy through it.
Right.
And it just comes. I don't sit down and think, I need to put a funny bit in it. It just sort of comes. You know what I mean? And it's a nice juxtaposition with some of the horrific things that happen as well. So.
Definitely.
Right. I remember.
I remember reading one of his books, and he would just put in just something a little tiny humorous, and I could breathe normally again. I was like, whew, okay, we just got through that.
The problem is it tends to work. You're sort of just inwardly chuckling at a funny bit, and then something horrible hits you between the eyes. So usually, you should be prepared. Something's coming.
Yeah, Hitchcock has always done that.
Comedy is actually really hard. Is that true? That comedy is one of the hardest things to do?
Well, I don't know. I haven't done everything, but I know. I mean, it is difficult because imagine. I mean, it's you and a microphone and your material, and that's it. It's instant. It's instant feedback. I mean, now, obviously, as a writer, you write a story, you write a book, whatever, and it takes a while before you start getting feedback. But that is instant. Either your joke lands or it dies, and it is that cut and dried. And it is not for the faint-hearted. Not for people with confidence problems. If you're going to run off the stage because somebody crying because they didn't laugh at your joke, then it's probably not the career for you. And the problem I had with it is because the way you have to do it is you hone and you hone and you hone. So you've got you've got your 5 minutes, solid 5 minutes, then another 5 minutes, and you sort of build it up literally a minute at a time. And I'd get bored. I mean, Xtina groans in Old Testament says my attention span is so brief. I'm getting bored now, to be honest, just talking.
He's awful. He really is. When we're doing our show,
just repeating, obviously, that gag works, and just having to repeat it time and time. And there's guys on the circuit that I mean, it's funny enough, the guy who did the voices, who's still doing the same material. I mean, it does work. It's the same material that he was doing 8 years ago when I met him. But he's honed it, and he knows he's got like his solid 5, 10, 15 minute set, and that works. Yeah? It just, for me, the best comics are those who they can get up and they deliver just like they're just making it up.
Yeah.
Right. You're like Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, those that don't. It's not obviously set gags. It's just like they're just having a conversation. It's just so fun.
Right.
There's a bunch they're doing quite well now, actually. I mean, there's one guy I think was a regular on the Howard Stern show. Another did America's Next Top Comedian or whatever. But yeah, he's kind of funny watching it. I knew that gag when it was a baby gag,
Right. And now, Xtina, you are a poet. I think that's how I met you. I can't remember. I don't remember, but I think that's how we kind of came across each other or something. I don't remember. But let's talk about your poetry. You so it says that you were nominated for a Bram Stoker Award for Dark Musings, right?
Yes, that's correct. And
Very
it's
cool.
still my baby. It's still my I don't know, sometimes when you write something and then, the follow-up or the next thing, you just, I don't know. I'm at a place now where I'm like, I don't know if I will ever, top this, I guess. But I have to say that I have something coming out in the fall, and I didn't even, they were just poems. You know how, if you write poetry, you just have a bunch of poems. And it wasn't until I started to kind of put them, into a book form or, get them ordered. There we go, get them ordered. That I was like, oh my gosh, this is I don't know. It started to come together, started to form, and that's when I was like, wow, this might actually be better than Dark Musings. So I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, it's going to be way more polished, which I kind of think that was the appeal for, with Dark Musings, is that was kind of like, raw. But this is, a little more polished, and I had a lot of fun. There was it was almost like somebody was reading my diary with Dark Musings. There were poems that were so personal and so dark, and there was just a really dark time in my life that it was weird having people read them, a lot of the ones for this newest book is I kind of tried to get a little more fiction, I guess you would say, because obviously I'm not killing this guy who was cheating on me. I didn't really kill him, but the poem is saying I did, So it was, a lot of storylines that were just kind of scary and creepy to me, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to releasing that in the fall. Nice. So, but Dark Musings will still always be my baby. It will.
Now, do you have a disciplined any kind of like discipline when it comes? Because to me, one of the differences between poetry for me personally and fiction is when I'm writing a book, I have set hours. I sit down, and whether I feel like it or not, whether I'm inspired or not, whether it's working or not, I have from this time to this time where I have to produce this much material. Yeah. Whereas poetry, which I've also been doing since I was really young, I don't do that unless I feel like it. I've never had any kind of discipline about that. Do you, as a poet, someone who would be considered a poet, do you have to make yourself write ever?
No, and I can't even. There are times that I want to write something really bad, and I will sit down, either with a notebook or something, and I just can't. Like, nothing will come out. And even when I want it to, sometimes I cannot force it. So, and then I'll just be doing the most random thing. I could be even busy. There was one time I was at work, and I just had this whole stanza just form in my mind, and I had to grab my notepad real quick and write it down, and then I went on with my business, and then a little while later another one came. So I mean, it is weird how that happens. And no, I can't force myself, not when it comes to poetry. No, I have done some of those, like live writes or something that you see online and stuff, and I can a little bit there, and but I don't really consider that the same thing, because it's not really Yeah, I don't know. It's not the same thing. And I've always been a rhymer, and just recently I've started to try my hand at free verse, and I'm loving it, really loving it.
Do you find it hard to rhyme? Because I'm a rhymer too, and when I do both, but I started out with rhyme as well, and I found it really hard to not rhyme. Does that ever happen?
Yeah, I of course. There, and also I think that a lot of times with rhyming, it can sound almost, I want to say childish. I mean, that's not exactly the word I'm looking for, but I don't know.
That's what critics like to say.
Hickory
Rhymes
dickory dock,
Yeah, exactly. It can be forced. You have to find really unique ways of doing it for sure. Now, do you write any fiction at all?
I do, and that's actually what I always wanted to be, was a horror writer since I was probably 8 or 9 years old. As a matter of fact, when I was in middle school, I got an award, and the award was called Best Stephen King Writing Style. That was really cool. So, well, it's 8th grade, so what do you expect?
That's cool. And hey, speaking of Stephen King writing styles, James, you do have some books out there, and you have been compared to Stephen King. So tell us a little bit about what you write, and just tell us about what you write. That's good enough for me.
Oh, am I on now? Oh, that's great. I was drifting. No, it's not really. No, it's always nice to hear Xtina have the opportunity to talk. She doesn't get much chance on our show because of me, mostly. Yeah, I mean, it's very flattering. I mean, I've been compared to some of my heroes, like King, James Herbert, and some others, like Robert Ludlum. I've never even read Robert Ludlum, to be honest with you.
It's a compliment.
So I wouldn't know. But yeah, my novels are the horror. I mean, I've got a couple of bizarre. I ventured into Bizarro, which is like horror, but it's very darkly comedic. I mean, the Erotic Odyssey of Colton Forshé is if Monty Python was, wrote horror, that would be that book. I mean, it's very, very tongue-in-cheek, very darkly comedic, but obviously, good old horror as well. But the more sort of, I guess, use the word loosely, lifelike horror. I've got Pede, which is my creature horror, which is my homage to James Herbert, which is about killer centipedes, oddly enough. I've got Tenebrion, which is a demonic horror, which is
so good.
It is a favourite of mine. It's a big fat thick book. It's sort of books I used to devour when I was in my younger years.
Right.
Well, I've got. I'm sort of looking at my books. I've got Flanagan as well, which is we've just recently republished. It was with another publisher, and long story short, it's not anymore.
It's home.
She's come home. It's been done properly. I wasn't happy with how they dealt with it, so it's now, and it's good, and it's sort of ventured away from creatures and demons and otherworldly beings, and that the monsters are just two people, just average, seemingly everyday people, and in some ways that is the most horrific, because that is probably that could be anyone, It could be the nice people next door.
So now the natural question, of course, that follows this is, you guys do a radio show together. You obviously, we know, spend plenty of time together because we know how that works. You both write. So the next natural question is, have you ever considered writing together?
I think he would kill me. I think he would. I don't think that. I think that would be an amazing, honor if James would be like, hey, let's write something together. But I really think he would kill me. I don't have the discipline, and he does. And I'm kind of like, he's always saying to me, did you write that down? Are you writing this down? So I just, and also
the
I don't
answer is usually no to that.
Yeah.
But, having said that, we did a couple of these live. She wrote me into a couple of these live write things. That went quite well. I
it
feel.
did. We had a lot of fun. We did. That was really fun. I didn't even think about that, but no, I get up at noon. He's up at the crack of dawn. I'm really good between like noon and 2, and so I don't know. I don't have the discipline.
She'll pop up and I'll say hi, and she's just waking up, and I've been up because I certainly it's a bit different now. It's summer vacation time, but in school time, I have to be up at 5:30 to make sure the kids are up and about and off to school. So I'm up, and I can say by the time she's got a lazy backside out of bed, I've done 4 hours work. I'm like you, Alice. My creative brain time is sort of from sort of 8:30 till sort of noon 30, 1 o'clock. That's when the creative bit is working. It tends to shut off there, and then I will do. I will do editing. I'll do business stuff. I'll do website work. I'll do whatever. That is not pure create, not putting words onto blank paper. That seems to be my key time. So I can't. I have to be that. I have to be that disciplined. Otherwise, I guess like Xtina, I would just drift off to do other things. But by the time I'll say hi. And say, I'm just getting up. And, so I've done. I've written 4,000 words, and I've done this and I've done that.
I just stretched. Okay, I just stretched.
Both eyes. So there's an achievement for the day.
Yes, I know. I think I did say that to him once. I was like, I still just have one eye open. What?
I know.
Well, I think that the two of you have great chemistry. I mean, of course, that could be totally different on paper. Who knows? But if you ever did, I think it would work really well. You guys are so much fun. Like, you have so much fun on your show. You're fun. You play off each other really well. I think that's fantastic. And so, I would like to know from each of you. We'll start with Xtina first. What is your favorite thing about James?
Careful.
Yeah. He'll have the buttons tonight. So my favorite thing about James is his honesty. I have asked him, I've sent him things that I've written, and he will not blow smoke up my ass. Can I say ass? Right. But, he will be honest, and he will. And not only is he honest, but then he'll actually give me some constructive criticism, which is great, because there are just too many people out there right now that, say what you think, what they think you want to hear, and James is not like that, and I love that about him. I do.
Nice. All right, James. Same question for you. What is your favorite thing, in all honesty, about Xtina?
How long have I got? No, I would have to say, her, if it's probably not even a word, her trustworthiness. My philosophy in life is trust no one. Xtina, I do trust. We are, obviously we do the radio show together. We are in business together. We're business partners. And I know I can trust her. And that is the world to me. Hellbound Books would not exist if it wasn't for Xtina. She was the one who sort of persuaded me to do it, and without her and her involvement and her partnership, it would never. And I would never, if I didn't trust her implicitly, I would never have begun it.
All right,
I love that answer. I'm not going to call in sick tonight. Okay, great.
So, Xtina, it says that you are an editing services provider. Is that for Hellbound Books?
It is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
And I love doing it. Oh my goodness! The first time I took a stab at editing, proofreading, I thought I was going to absolutely hate it. And now I find it's almost like a puzzle. It's kind of like spot the knot or where's Waldo. Let me find the mistakes. It's awesome. I love doing it, which is weird. I never thought I would because I can't find the mistakes in my own writing. but there's not much I can't find when it comes to other people's stuff. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Very nice. Now, if you guys want to visit Hellbound Books, you can check out hellboundbookspublishing.com. And we're already out of time, you guys, but before we let you go, let's start with you, James. James, can you tell our listeners where they can go, again, to find out more about you and what you do? Where are you most active, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, everything there is to know is on my website, which is jameslongmore.com. There's some snippets of my stand-up on there as well from many years ago. All my books, screenplays, literally everything I've done is there. Facebook, Twitter, I think that's as much as social media as I get involved in, to be honest with you. Obviously, hellboundbookspublishing.com, and do you know? I don't. What's the URL for the Panic Room, Xtina?
Isn't it just the new Panic Room Radio? I don't know.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm gonna. Just give me a second. I'm gonna look. I should know this. I should know this, but we haven't.
All right. While you're looking.
I've got it. Panicroomradio.com. That's the radio website. There you go.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, Xtina, should anyone be listening tonight who falls madly in love with your voice and decides they want to stalk you, where can they most effectively do that?
Facebook. I'm addicted to Facebook, but my website has everything on there, and that's darkpoetprincess.com. But definitely Facebook. I mean, I'm just. As a matter of fact, the whole time we've been on the show, I'm checking notifications. So, if anybody wants to stalk me, that's the best place to do it.
All right. I agree. As one of your stalkers, you are there a lot, and we have a lot of fun. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being on. We're out of time. But you guys are welcome back anytime. And you know what? Until next week, we wish you all haunted nights.
And sweet screams.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Good night.
Haunted Nights, live with Tamara Thorne and Alistair Cross.